Hey everyone, so before we start this video, I just want to say, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I see that only about 2% of our viewers are actually subscribed, and it would really help us out a lot if you did. And we're going to be showing you how to do awesome stuff like create this cool soap holder. So, let's get into the video. Hey everyone, this is Stevie here, and today we're going to be making a soap holder for my bathroom. Now, in my bathtub, there's like this bar that you can put like wash rags and stuff over. And so what I'm going to do is actually design something that goes around that bar and holds a bar of soap. So let's get to it. I took some measurements, and the distance between the wall and that bar, the middle of that bar, is 40 or 55 millimeters. And the radius of the bar itself is 22 millimeters. But we're going to account for some play in it, just so that way when we print it, we know that it's actually going to fit properly, because it doesn't need to be a super precise fit. So let's get to it. We'll create a sketch here, and we're going to draw. First, let's start with the circle that goes around the handle itself. So we'll start with a center diameter circle, and I said we needed a radius or a diameter of 22 millimeters. I'm just going to make that 24, so that way when we print it on our Mantis 3D printer, it comes out really nice and everything's going to look great. So next thing we need to do is we need to draw down some arms. And then this way what's going to happen is this distance here, it's going to flare out to the right, and then it's going to go down here, and this is where it will hold the soap. So I say let's make a good distance for that would be like 50 millimeters, I guess. We'll make this 50, and then we are going to, I know that from the wall to the center of this is 55 millimeters. So we'll make it 55 minus half this radius. So we'll actually do the original radius. So we'll make it 44, which is 55 minus 11. So we're making sure that this is 55 minus 11 and press enter. Now we're going to go to line, and we're going to go down here, and we're going to do another one, and we'll make this, we'll just draw it here. And then I know that this distance here is a certain distance, and then here. So we've got some constraints already, which is nice. These two are perpendicular to each other, but then nothing else is constrained. So first thing we'll do is we'll make these tangent to this circle. So we'll click our tangent tool right here and select here, and do the same for over on this side. Now that those are tangent, we want to make this one be perpendicular to this one. So we're going to go to this tool right here and select this line to this line. And now this line is perpendicular to this one. And we don't have to do that to these two guys, but we need to make sure that this line and this line are the same length. So I'm going to hit D and dimensionalize this, and I'm going to select this dimension here and press enter. Now they're the same length. Now I want the distance between the two, so like this distance here between these two bottom pieces, to actually be shorter than 22 millimeters. I'm going to make it 20 millimeters actually. And the reason being is that way when it goes over, it's going to kind of snap fit over it rather than just kind of sit over it loosely. So that way even if this arm doesn't work too well, it's going to hold it in place so that it doesn't fall off the rail. So next thing we're going to do is we want to make this be 44, which it already is, and I measured the length of the soap, and the soap itself is 75 millimeters long. So I'm going to hit D and make this 75. Additionally, the depth of the soap is 25 millimeters. So I'm just going to make that there. And finally, I'm going to trim this, and we are good. Next thing we need to do is actually make a copy of all this so that way it all comes out nicely. So we are going to go up to modify, and we're going to choose offset. We're going to select this whole thing, and we're going to offset it by, let's say, 5 millimeters. I think that's plenty. But we don't want to go in, because if we do, then we're going to be cutting into this diameter here. So we will offset it the opposite way. We'll go 5 millimeters this way, or -5 actually it has to be. Okay. Now, enter. Oh, we gotta turn off construction line, I guess. So we'll Control Z that real quick and just do this one more time. -5, turn off construction line and press enter. Now, you may notice that these ends aren't connected, and we're just going to draw 2 lines here. And finally, you may also notice that this isn't actually going to be 75 millimeters in here anymore. If you think about it, this distance here, well, we can actually just inspect it. It's 65 millimeters. We need it to be 75. So since it's missing 10 here, we're just going to increase this by 10. So then that way, when we make this 85 millimeters, now if we inspect it once more, we're going to see that it is now 75 millimeters like we needed it to be. And that's good. So all that there's left to do is extrude it. So we'll press Q here and we'll select it. And I measured the width of the soap is actually 75 millimeters as well. It's a square soap. So we'll make it 75 and press enter. And now we've got the basic shape of our soap holder. Now, this would take a lot of material to print, so we're actually going to make a lot of cuts on it, and we don't want a solid base for our soap because then it's just going to sit in a pool of water and it's going to get soggy and then wear out faster. So first things first, this arm here doesn't need to be the whole way across. I'm actually going to cut this down so that way it's only a smaller portion. That way when we print it, it prints quicker. So we'll press Q, or actually escape that. We're going to create a sketch first on this plane. All I'm going to do is connect from here to here, and I'm just going to press Q now, and I'm going to decrease that by 65 millimeters. -65. There you go. And that way, when it pivots backwards, it's going to hit the wall here, and then it won't actually rotate too far. It won't fall over, basically. But I think that the 10 millimeters is not enough. So I'm going to go back to this extrude down here, and I'm going to make it -60. That extra 5 millimeters should be fine. That's 50% larger than it was. I just want to make it a little bit more pretty, so I'm going to go to a fillet, and I'm going to bring this out a little bit. Nothing too scientific, I just wanted to print nicer, have some more structural integrity, because along that break there would be a very weak point, so if I make this fillet here, it should make it a little bit stronger when printing. So now we want to cut out a bunch of holes. We'll start on this face here. So we're going to create a sketch on here. Now we're going to let's do 10 millimeter circles. And I'm going to make them 2 millimeters from each edge. And the way you do that is you take the diameter plus 2. Or the radius, sorry. The radius plus 2, which is 7. So we'll do that here and here. And now we know that this distance here is 75 millimeters. So if we want the other end to be, if we want the other side to be 2 millimeters from the edge here, we need to take 75 minus 14. So, and what I mean by that is we're going to go to our rectangular pattern here. And we're going to we want 4 of these, and 75 minus 14 is our distance. And press this button right here so that we can do the same thing. It is the same distance because it's a square, so we're gonna hit 4 and then do 75 minus 14. Well, let's do -75 plus 14. There we go. Alright, now that we've got that done, we can actually extrude this. But let's say we want to do all these, so I'm just going to highlight everything here and then just deselect the back. If it won't let me know. Let's do that one more time. Let's finish this sketch and press Q, highlight this all, and deselect it. There you go. Now we're going to go to our extent and just to object, and we're just going to select the other side and press enter. And there we have it. We have nice holes on the bottom, so that way the water drains outside from our soap. And now we're going to do the same thing on these 2 surfaces here, because you're going to find that it's going to take a lot of material to print this. So we're going to do this. We're going to create a sketch on this plane here. And we're going to slice it, so that way we don't have this in our way. We're going to hit slice. And now we are going to draw just the same as before. We're going to do 10mm circles and put them 2mm away from each side. Oh, I keep clicking on the circle there. 7 and 7. There we go. And now, oh, cancel that. We're going to go back into our sketch, and we're going to go to rectangular pattern. And we are going, I forget the length of this actually. So, honestly, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to make it look good. That looks close enough. You see there's like 2 blocks here and 2 blocks there. So each one's a millimeter, I guess. So now we're going to do the same thing, except I'm going to make it 4. And we're going to go down 1 more. There you go. That looks good to me. And we're going to extrude this again. Highlight it once more. Deselect that. There you go. And now our distance to object. We select the other side, and it cuts it for us. And now finally, let's go to this face and do the same thing. So one last time, we'll create a sketch here. And then we are going to draw 10 and then just dimensionalize it. Now we're going to use our rectangular pattern tool once more. Draw it out and then draw it down. We'll make this 4 and then keep going. I want to stop here because I'm going to do rectangular pattern once more. Select these 2 guys and just draw it down and make 2 of them. And there we go. Now we're going to extrude this. We'll just select those 4 and then choose to object and then select this face here and press enter. And there we go. If we wanted, let's you know what, let's put our name on it. Well, I think that would be kind of funny. But since it's going to be printing this way, we're actually going to cut our name into it, because if we print our name out of it, then it's actually going to sag a little bit. So we'll create a sketch and choose this face right here. And now we are going to go to our text tool and select a point and make the height, let's say 20. I don't know what this, not 2000, 20 millimeters. And let's write Stevie. How's that gonna look? That looks pretty good. Now really there is no way to be super precise with this, so I just kind of line it up based off of like where the squares are, and that's almost centered right there. So we're gonna press OK, and then we're going to press Q and extrude this. We're going to cut into it. We know that this is 5 millimeters thick, so we're going to cut in by 1 millimeter. And there we go. When we print this, we'll have our name, we'll have a nice holder here for our soap, and we're going to have these holes so that way it prints faster and uses less filament. Now, all we have to do is print it. We just need to save this STL right here. Just click Save as STL and press OK. And then we just send that to our Mantis 3D printer, and the printer will do all the rest of the work for us. We don't have to do anything more. Rather than spending so much time perfecting the settings when we can be doing something more productive. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment down below what you'd like to see next, and we'll see you later.